There are many factors that determine whether a business will succeed or not, and one of them is government policy. Right now, for anyone that is in business, it's a tough time. Over 80% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. But being an entrepreneur in Nigeria means you are a miracle worker. One of the reasons why things have become worse is because things have been so bad, but in order to correct it, they are now trying to put policies in place to correct it. But for those policies to work, there are many other things that have to be in place. If those things are not done, even for the next 4 years, we'll still be in this trouble. Our leaders have proven by the kind of decisions they have made, the kind of expenses they have made in the over 1 year, that they are unserious about cutting costs. They are unserious about tightening their belts. No matter how poor anybody is, the most wretched man that lives under the bridge will eat at least once a day. Anyone that is in business today should be focusing on meeting the basic need of people.
Thanks for staying with us. So joining us on the show is a seasoned business coach, global president of the Bonaire Conclave, and chairman, Common Sense Group, Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. We'll be speaking on the forthcoming Business Sustainability Summit and also helping us understand the issues we're having currently in our nation and see how we can maneuver ourselves. Business coaches like yourself keep telling us to invest, save money, do this, and we're thinking, how do I do that in this kind of economy?
Thank you once again for the opportunity to be here. It was on this same table we had this discussion.
Yeah.
I remember saying on this platform that whenever a policy is brought forth, it takes between 6 months to 2 years for that policy to begin to have effects.
You said so.
All things being equal. This government is less than 2 years. And I specifically told us that things will get worse. Few things I said, which I will repeat again. Since 1999 till date, we have never had a better government. The new government is always worse than the previous one. It has never changed. So all this deception of we are waiting for one renewed hope, we are waiting for a better Nigeria, we are just deceiving ourselves because it's the same set of people reinventing themselves and doing the same thing over and over again. You cannot do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. So one of the reasons why things have become worse is because things have been so bad, but in order to correct it, they are now trying to put policies in place to correct it. But for those policies to work, there are many other things that have to be in place. If those things are not done, even for the next 4 years, we'll still be in this trouble. What are the things that needs to be done that are not being done? You cannot expect the populace to tighten their belt and go through the process when you, the leader, are not willing to go through the process. Our leaders have proven by the kind of decisions they have made, the kind of expenses they have made in the over 1 year, that they are unserious about cutting costs. They are unserious about tightening their belts. And then you expect people to tighten their own belt. That is why we are having the things expand beyond normal.
So I'd like us to move that into the businesses, because you're having a Business Sustainability Summit, and the truth is a lot of businesses are failing in this. So yes, we can tighten our belts, but businesses are paying salaries. Stockwell is paying salaries. I mean, how do they tighten their belts?
That's the reality. See, when you study, I've been in business now for like 37 years. I've done different kind of businesses. In this same country, I've done about 7 businesses that has failed. I mean, completely failed. And I've done about 9 that are doing well. And they've gone through different seasons. Over 80% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. Another 80% fail within the next 5 years. So only few businesses have been able to survive 10 years. And the reason is because there are many factors that determine whether a business will succeed or not. And one of them is government policy. One of them is the economic environment within which you operate. And right now, for anyone that is in business, it's a tough time. You see, entrepreneurship is very hard and very challenging. But being an entrepreneur in Nigeria means you are a miracle worker because it is just extra to be able to excel. So for business people, you need to be making the tough decisions. For business people, you need to become a different kind of person that can survive in the kind of environment that we are in. And one of the things you need to do is to begin to become very creative and very innovative to do things differently from the way others are doing it. Many times, what we have in the market is saturated method. It's not that the market is saturated. the method is saturated because everybody is trying to do it the same way. But for you to be able to excel, you have to now sit down and do something that is out of what is the norm. That helps you to get the attention of the market to be able to have a leeway in the world that we live in.
Okay, so I remember when you came to discuss with us, I think it was immediately after the subsidy is gone. You said we have not seen the effect yet, that it will take about 6 months. And all of us was like,
18 months.
18 months.
6 months to 2 years maximum, yeah.
And we're like, no. And right now we are seeing all the multiple ways this thing has affected people. But it will be wrong for us not to give a sense of hope. And because it's not everybody that can jackpot. Jackpot has become even more expensive now. So you were talking about doing things differently. And I would like you to be able to give us, in terms of businesses that have the ability to survive this period, what would you say, based on your experience and what you've seen, what businesses are likely to fail, if not totally be wiped out, and what businesses do you think has prospects to be sustaining Nigeria during this period?
Okay, well, basically, we are at different levels of life, and there are different dimensions to the life of people. We have what we call our needs, we have our wants, and we have our luxuries. It's only when your needs are met that you begin to explore your wants. It's only when you are comfortable in taking care of your want that you can move into the realm of luxuries. Right now in Nigeria, 75% of Nigerians are poor. United Nations have defined poverty as living below $2 a day, and extreme poverty as living below $1 a day. Right now, 75% of Nigerians are living below $1 a day, so there's extreme poverty. So it therefore means that a lot of people in our country today are at the realm of having their needs met. So anyone that is in business today should be focusing on meeting the basic need of people. Once you are involved in meeting the basic needs of people, then you will have a leeway. For instance, no matter how poor anybody is, the most wretched man that lives under the bridge will eat at least once a day. So if they are going to eat at least once a day, we have 25 million people in Lagos. That means there are 25 million meals that needs to be served in a day. If they do 3 times, that's 75 million. So out of that 25 million meals in a day, what component of that value chain can you offer? And once you begin to operate in that dimension, it will help you. The next thing is to realize that when people are operating at the survival level of having their needs met, you have to meet them at their level. You remember in those days, we didn't used to have all these sachet, that. You have to buy what we call the Baba Salah, you know, the big things of all this beverage. But now, they are breaking it down into small pieces. So you don't need to have a big tin of milk. You can have a sachet for you to just take for that day until next. So those are the things you need to begin to think. Begin to bring, because every big vision have a small version. So everything you want to do, you need to begin to say, okay, this person now, okay, they are looking for a house. Okay, people need to live in a house. Can I begin to think of shared accommodation? Can I begin to think of hostels where people don't need any furniture? Just the same way we used to live in hostel, bunker bed, you just so that you are paying for a bunk. And then people can, 8-12 people can be in a room. They have up and down bed. So those are the ways you begin to think to be able to excel in this.
Okay, so yes, so with what is going on now, regardless of, even though you're trying to go micro, you know, to meet the needs, the basic needs of people. So what are your thoughts right now with the government trying to now increase the value-added tax from 7.5% to 10%? How is that going to impact businesses? We already know that most businesses in Nigeria are not even paying taxes. They're not even paying the 7.5. Most small and medium businesses don't even understand that they even need to add 7.5% to the cost of, you know, their billings. So what do you think about that? How do you think that's going to impact businesses?
Well, one of the things we need to understand is that taxation is a very, very important policy for government to be able to make money. In all honesty, in Nigeria today, we are paying the lowest level of taxes when it comes to compliance. A lot of people, if everybody, let's say if 80% of Nigerians are paying taxes the way they are supposed to pay, the government will have more money. But you see, the challenge is, how do you pay tax when you have already been taxed? Because the climes where people pay taxes, they are able to pay taxes because the things that they are spending money on in Nigeria, they don't spend money on it. The roads are there. You don't need to create your own water. You don't need to create your own light. Right here, you are your local government. You are the one that will do your water. So by the time you have done all that, you now have multiple taxations. So it becomes challenging. But because a lot of our leaders are not very, very creative. Many of them are not entrepreneurs. They're not business people. They've not run any organization successfully to know how businesses run. Number two, they are very lazy in their thinking. And because they are very lazy in their thinking, they look for the easy way out. Let's just tax them. It's the easiest way out. But there are a lot of dead equity. There are a lot of territories that are left unattended to. I keep wondering, why do we keep thinking that it's only oil that we have? Do you know the kind of gold that is in this country? Do you know the kind of precious metals? Each state has things buried there that are billions of dollars that will give us more money than fuel. Why are we all fixated on this fuel? It's lazy thinking. They don't want to do that rigorous mental exertion to come up with ways to be able to get to. They have, okay, lights. There's already liberty for every state to come up with power. How many states have explored it?
None.
How many states have explored it? So they are just lazy people in their mind. They are looking for the easy way out. Everybody wants to go and share money, and then next month again to go and share, because they know that we easily forget. Before you know it, the next 4 years again, we are talking. All this one we are talking now, I'm telling you people, this is 2024. By the time we get to the end of this year, they're already planning 2027.
Election time and
they forget all the. So you people should sit down and realize that you have to look into how can I continue to offer value in such a way that I become indispensable to the market. That's the only solution. Apart from that, because nobody is going to look. Yeah.
So how important is research and visibility study? I will call the English. In starting a business. Just yesterday, somebody tweeted that they don't break 150 million naira poultry and killed over 5,000 birds. Government doesn't worry about your loss. They worry about forcing their own side. At the FCT, he lost that amount of money. Now, this is someone who had a clear vision, and he invested hugely in a sector that has huge returns, because 5,000 birds, 150 million, you can imagine the level. So how important is it that, your research that you put into, and how do you avoid any government policies as unforeseen?
Well, feasibility study, having a business plan is very important, but the world that we live in right now is a fast-changing world. And anyone that has really done business will tell you, no matter how powerful the plan, there is no business plan that goes according to plan. Because theory and practical are two different things. So it's good to have that feasibility study, it's good to have that business plan, but it is more important to be current. Because being current is the currency of life. You have to be current with current affairs, government policies, and the changes in your environment, so that you will not be having tunnel vision, focusing on your business and wake up one day and discover that the world has changed. So many people have business plans, but they are not conversant of the changes in the environment. I'm not interested in politics, I'm not interested in news, I'm not interested in this. But those are the places you will hear what, as we do morning stuff now, you have said 7.5% is going to 10. I just edit for, I just keep back. So I just edit, I say, okay, 10, okay. If they are going to do that. Already, as I was sitting there, I was already thinking, I'm putting some things in place, it's going to be implemented, how does it affect my business? That's the way it works. So whatever business plan you had, you didn't have that one in your business plan when you started. You didn't have that, so we just need to continue to evolve, and that's
Let's talk about your summit coming up. I know that the business sustainability, we are bringing in people, because this is part of the issues that we need to help businesses to see how they can redirect. Tell us about that summit coming up.
Okay, well, I'm the global president of the Bonaire Conclave, and one of the things we do is to try to help people to become global players and to build for sustainability. So we have two major events every year. The first one is the Conclave Summit that takes place in March. So every first weekend of March, we come for 2 days, fully residential, get locked in and look into how we can continue to evolve. And then the last Friday of September, we now have an entire day to look at business sustainability. Because when you are a businessman, there are different stages you go through. You start a business. And then little by little, the bigger begins to grow. You're like, okay, this thing is growing. Then you move from startup to growth. When it's beginning to grow, now how do I scale this thing? Then you go into scaling. After that, you now want to say, okay, now we are stable. How do I stabilize? So you stabilize the business. Then the next thing is, okay, let's expand. Let's diversify. But the final phase is sustainability, so that you can now hand it over to the next generation, so that that business can now become transgenerational. In our climb, we don't have too many businesses that have survived 50 years, 100 years, because majority of the people in business start with survival mentality. Let me just take care of myself and my family. Survival mindset cannot build a transgenerational business. So we now decided to come up with a conference where we focus on, even if you are starting, start with sustainability in mind. And that's what we've been doing. So 3 years ago, we brought in Tara Feladro Toye, and we brought in Namdi Ezigbo of Slots. And because they've done business, and then they've done 25 years, 26 years in business. So we brought people that have done at least 25 years, come and share with us how you've been able to survive all the different seasons. And then I dealt with, why businesses fail, how to build transnational businesses. And it was amazing. Last year, we said, okay, let's bring people, because with what happened in COVID, the entertainment industry went through their own crisis. So we said, let's bring in people in the, entertainment sector. And in that sector, we brought in our, MD Mama, she was with us. Your view has been 10 years. I've been able to build something like this for 10 years. And then we brought AY, the comedian, to share with us, built a global brand. I've been able to do that. And then I also now spoke about, staffing your business, corporate governance, and all the stuff. So this year, our focus is on leadership, because the economy and the world is in different dimensions now. And if you are not an exceptional leader, you can't survive. Your business will go down, you will go down. So our focus this year will be on leadership, because as the leader, so goes the organization. If you know better, you will do better. Everything rises and falls on leadership. So I'm bringing 2 leadership gurus. Nia Adesoya is an amazing leadership guru. He's raised a lot of captains of industry. So he's going to be coming to speak to us about building centenary businesses. Who is the kind of leader that can build a business that will run for hundreds of years? And then we're going to be bringing another amazing speaker, Linus Okorie from Abuja. He runs Guidance of the Nation, Gotney, and he's going to be talking to us about transformational leadership. How you as a leader can become the kind of person that people want to follow, and the kind of person that people want to listen to, and the kind of person that can build the kind of organization we're talking about. Then I'm going to be focusing on a lot of things that has to do with understanding that the customer has changed. Customer expectation, customer preferences has changed. Customer service has gone to another level. And then how do you execute? Many times we sit down, we do meetings, we come up with things. 6 months later, how far? Nothing has been done. What are the principles of effective execution to be able to ensure that all the plans we have, they are done? What are so it's going to be an amazing time, and it's a whole day. The way we do our events, for those that are members of the Bonaire Conclave, is absolutely free. That's part of the package. So if you're a member, March, you come 2 days fully residential, free. September, 1 day fully residential, free. But what we have done is we now open it up to people in the public to say, come and enjoy what these people are enjoying, because not everybody can afford to be a part of the Bonaire Conclave, but at least come and be a part to say, okay, so this is what's happening. So it's 750,000 naira for the fully residential event, because they're going to be lodged in Sheraton, and it's amazing. Hotel now is charging 350, 400 for one night to sleep and wake up. I say,
this zoo money.
This zoo, yeah. By the time, one of the hotels told me they spent 300 million. I don't know how much you guys are spending TVC. 300 million on NEPA, on power every month. So I say, why do you just jump to one night to come and sleep and wake up 350, 400? That's what? But that's the reality. So it's 750,000 naira for those that will come for fully residential event. So you get the entire event, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then on Saturday morning we have another hangout before you check out. But for those that are not going to be fully residential, it's just 500,000. And that covers for also breakfast, then it covers for the buffet and the entire event. And we always have manuals and materials that we give to people. But what we have done, the last time we gave discount to people, but the discount has expired. But we in fact, we have almost sold that. We're just looking at, do I need to still come and talk about it? Because when we do our events, we don't want crowd. We have a limited number of people so that we can deal with it. So we actually just have 13 slots left. Just 13 slots left. And what we have decided to do is, if people are willing to pay this week, we'll still give it to them at the discounted price. So if you want to be fully residential, instead of 750, you just pay 500,000. But you have to make that payment between now and Friday. If you don't pay by Friday, it's just 13 slots left. And then if you want to do the non-residential, instead of 500,000, you pay 300,000 naira. And then you're part of us. So you can call the numbers, get in touch with us. And
numbers are already on the screen.
Yeah, all my social media platforms.
Short break. When we come back, we continue with you. Don't worry, you're here with us today.
No problem.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We still have our guest with us. Toko had a question.
Yeah, so everybody knows I'm going to, if Dr. Olumide is doing the program, I'm there. So yeah, I'm going to be at this event, but I worry about, before we spoke about the conference, we were talking about Nigeria running business and all of that. And I've always been a bit of the opinion that the only way to solve Nigeria's problem is to empower entrepreneurs so that they are able to become sustainable and employ the labor that puts people to work. I would like you to help business owners understand the importance of the investment and how government can also partner with trainings like this to empower businesses so that they can grow?
Well, basically, all over the world, it's small businesses that grow the economy. Like we always say, it's not the job of government to be in business. The job of the government is to put policies in place, create an enabling environment, and put infrastructures in place for small businesses to thrive. However, when you are now going into business, I keep emphasizing that you don't go into business for survival. Once your mindset is, let me just do something so that I can take care of myself, take care of my family, I don't want to work for anybody, then you're already starting with the wrong mindset. But when you are going into business, you are going into business because you want to offer value and make a difference. And when that becomes the reason why you are in business, you realize that you achieve more when you don't care who gets the credit. Your focus is just impact, transformation. And that will now also translate into staff. If you are a businessman in Nigeria today, you realize that majority of Nigerian graduates are unemployable. By the time you employ them, you have to train and retrain for them to be able to do what needs to be done. So once you are going in with transformational mindset, with value creation mindset, when you start a business, part of your vision will be anyone that comes to work in this organization, me mentoring them will be a part of my assignments. So I'm going to look beyond their certificate because some people are not well brought up even from home training. They don't have basic home training. So it's not even about, so somebody that's from the foundation of the home, there is no home training, they don't understand the basics of our life. They now went to school, curriculum is outdated. They came out, so they are already having double level of jeopardy. So when you are going to start a business, have it at the back of your mind that even though I'm employing them to pay them, I will look into how I can help them to become better in their personal life, in their grooming, courtesy, understanding life.
Do and that, then, they go away in seconds.
That is where I'm going to. Because that's why many people don't do that, but that's why we are all here. So you do that, then even in the business, you are teaching them how to write letter, how to align, how to speak, how to do this, knowing fully well that they will go. But you are helping the country to develop. Yeah, that's the way it works. Because see, what you sow is what you reap. Because when they go, you employ the next one, you start all over again. If people before us have been doing what I told you to do, if they go, the next person you employ, you won't need to redo that. Somebody else will have done that before they came to you. Yeah. So let's have that mindset of we are developing our country. So I have a commitment that anyone that works with me or in any of my organization, by the time you leave where you are working, anywhere you go to, they'll be thanking us. Where did you come from? Value. And we have had people headhunted from us. To us, it's a testament that when bigger companies, bigger organizations are coming to us to come and take you, we have done well. And that's the mindset we need to have. Then when it comes to the government, you see, we need to go back to local government. Thank God we're getting back there. You see, this government in Nigeria is big. Lagos State alone is more than about 14 different African countries. A lot of African countries are 2 million, 3 million. And the whole country, they say they get presidents. That's just a local government chairman or a councillor here. So when we are talking government, we are looking too much to the federal. It is local government. In every local government, you know, we used to have technical schools. We used to have skill acquisition centers. All those things have been lost. We used to have summer school. We used to have a summer job. Yeah. All those things have been lost. That is the way the government partners with people. In every local government, there will be libraries, there will be technical schools, there will be skill acquisition centers, because everybody does not have to go through that route of academic education. Yeah. You can now go through technical education and be skilled to be able to offer things to the market, because certificate right now is not certifying anybody.
Okay, so this brings me to my question. So I just like the fact that you delved into the local government aspect. So I'm talking about education, and this is education at every level, even the lowest level, which is basic education. Because even when you acquire skills, you need like the basic education to be able to like even build clients, to even tell your customers what your services you're offering. So what are your thoughts in terms of, even in schools now, curriculums that they should teach business? Because for me, you know, I have a PhD, I have 2 masters, but then it took me a long time when I started my own business to even understand the business of law. I'm a lawyer. And to understand the business of law, I didn't know that there was a business of law. Yeah. it took me a long time to even understand why they have managing partners in law firms, as in those people that manage the law firm, the business of the law firm. So upon how educated I am, I didn't get that, and I struggled over and over again, and it took me a long time to catch that. So what are your thoughts in terms of education to the basic level of teaching businesses, and how it can be even to primary school level, to secondary school level, how that can be, that can infiltrate, infuse and enter the
Okay, so
curriculum?
one of the things, I believe in balance. One of the narratives that is out there now is that education is a scam. Education is not a scam. The curriculum is a scam. Education is not a scam.
I never agree with you, but go ahead.
It's the curriculum that is the scam.
Yeah.
Now, you see, there are 4 things that education does for you. It helps you to know how to read, how to write, how to calculate arithmetic and mathematics, and how to think analytically. So when you go to school, it now shows that this person knows how to read, write, calculate, and think. That's what education does. So everybody needs to go through that basic education where you are able to do those 4 things. Once you are able to do that, the next set of education should be things that can help you to offer value to your generation and solve the present-day problem of the world that you live in. But many of our curriculum is not doing that. And now when it comes to education, you are talking about business. You see, there are technical skills and there are business skills. Now, the fact that you have a technical skill, you know how to design clothes, you know how to sew, you know how to bake, does not mean if you start a bakery or you start a fashion house, you're going to succeed. Because that's technical skill. The business skill is how do we get customers, how do we employ staff, how do we manage staff, how do we manage the resources, how do we scale up. Those are the business part. That's why, as a lawyer, there's a difference between the legal profession and legal business. There's a difference between medical profession and medical business. You can never become rich through a profession, but you can become rich through the business of the profession. And that comes through education. But you see, schools need to change the curriculum to include all these things. But apart from that, every individual needs to have the desire for personal development. Because no matter how much they teach you in school, it is you. You see, they say when the student is ready, the teacher will show up. You are the one that will say, okay, I'm tired of where I am, I need to know more. You go for books, you go for seminar. That's why the kind of seminar we're doing right now is something that if you're a businessman today, we've been doing this seminar now. There are people that come in there. Last year, 2 years ago, a man came, he was 71 years old. He's been doing business for over 40 years. But he came there because he said that he listened to me here on your program. He came all the way from Ilorin, and that he was like, I've been listening to this one, but this one I need to go. Why did he come? He has run business for over 40-something years. And with all these S-men and whatever, a man that had over 4,000 hectares, he said he has not been able to enter his farm for over 4 years. A man that had over 4 billion in the accounts in Nigeria is suffering. Why? Because he saw his money, 4 billion that he thought was like something $1 million. Before his very eyes, he said he came to him, say, what do I do now? And the students are not even interested in the business because this japa, that by the time they go, they are not interested in what you think. So I just think that we should be committed to personal education. So that even if the schools don't give you, then you teach yourself. Toba B, Atunani B, the one they didn't teach you, you teach yourself. And the education is there, information is there. Training, seminars, virtual conferences, all kinds of things are out there, both free and paid.
How to train myself anyways, you're correct.
So I like the fact that you've talked on self-development. Or some professions or skills have what we call this internship stage. We see it more with the artisan kind of business, but we don't see it when it comes to professions like accounting and law, and it's a very important part of it, where somebody must intern. Then you, on a path to self-development, are interning at a particular place. They are teaching you the work. Because Amaka mentioned lawyers. As lawyers, that's one thing we all did. Work, you will learn the work, you go to court, you come back. But your boss knows the business of managing the firm, and he's not teaching you that rules because he cannot open trade secrets. Because you're a potential opposition, Abi, to you. How do you, while interning, catch some of these things? I want you to address it because there are most lawyers coming up thinking they're interning and they have learned the business.
So in life, we say that some things are better caught than taught. Some things are better caught than taught. When you talk about education, there are dimensions to education. Emulation is the first step in education. Then observation is the next step in education. Then training is the next step in it. So it's level. So you start with emulation. As a child, you see people do things, you do it. If I come to a table, I don't know how to use the cutlery, and I see people using the cutlery, I'm just watching to say, okay, okay, they put okay, left hand, okay. Nobody's knowing, but I'm emulating. So you emulate, you observe, they're doing this, they're doing that. So many times, a lot of people that go to learn, while they are sending you around, you are not intuitive. You are not thinking. You see, I'm a pastor, and the Bible is one of the most amazing books. Whether it's business, marriage, you will be shocked. When Nehemiah wanted to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem, he went to the king. He said, give me letter to this person for wood, this person for this person. Visa to, how did you know them? That means as they were coming to visit the king,
He was
he
paying
was
attention.
paying attention. Okay, that's the Minister of Finance. Bless you, sir. He was collecting complimentary card. Hello, sir. So that's the person in charge of visa. So he didn't go to them. He didn't abuse the position, but he utilized it to be able to prepare himself for opportunity. Because it is better to be prepared waiting for opportunity than for opportunity to come and meet your problem. When the time now came, he now went. He knew exactly what to ask. Can you give me letter to this? Because you couldn't come before a great man and be wasting his time. So it's what we call the elevator pitch. Sharp, sharp. He has asked and he got it. Somebody else will have said, excuse me, sir, I'm trying to try. What can you do to help me? You don't have anything to. So when you are in that law firm, be wondering, okay, they are paying all of us. They paying us? How did they pay all of us? You are paying light, you are paying. Okay, they say, okay, go to court and go and do this. Okay, how much did they charge this person? The accountant will say, I still like 3 million. How did they arrive at 3 million? How can you? So, but their own mind is saying, hey, you mean they collected 3 million? They're just paying 30,000. That's what they are thinking. So, how did they arrive at 3 million? What are the costs? Okay, we went. Okay, so what? So that's how you think. And when you begin to think that, it will help you to ask the right question. Because the question you ask will determine the answer you get. Those people who say they don't want to teach you, if you ask, there are questions you ask that people will say what they don't want to say.